So right now, what we want to do now is to insert the data that we have here into the database. But before we do that, we need to perform a check to make sure that the users are not submitting an empty form. So we'll say if empty, so we're checking the user first name, just copy, paste, and user last name, email, gender, intro, image. So first name, last name, email, gender, intro, and user image. So we are checking that and making sure that the input fields are not empty before they are submitted. So if they are not empty, we write a query send so say insert into profile. This time we're inserting into profile. Then what we're inserting is we want to insert the user ID, so that with this, because from here we are getting the ID of the user, so we're going to insert user ID, first name, last name, email, gender, intro. These are the names that we gave the columns in the database. Then intro, then the next thing is image, date, time. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now we have 8 of these values. Then we need to give it the values. So the first one we are adding is the ID, which is this ID here. Then the next thing is we're passing in the first name, so it's user underscore first name. Then the third thing is user last name. Then we are passing after the user last name, we're passing user email. We're passing the user email. Then after the user email, we're passing the gender. Then after gender, the intro. Then the user image. Now this is the one that we are sending, this user image. That is what we are passing. Then lastly, we are passing the time, which is now. We use the function now. Then we close the brackets. So we're passing in the ID, the user first name, last name, email, gender, intro, user email, and the time. So the next thing is we just send, which is going to be MySQLi underscore query. Takes the connection and it takes in this query send. So we can do a check if it's not sent. If it's not sent, so we say data was not inserted into database. So MySQLi underscore error, check the connection here. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to add an else statement. So if there are empty fields, if they click on the submit, then it should display a message. So we'll call it msg equal to let's go into one of these and copy out the alert statement. Copy out the alert statement. So the statement we can say fields cannot be empty. So we have this, the message which says fields cannot be empty. Now let's just add this as a global variable, msg. We have it as a global variable. So here we are saying if the fields are not empty, insert the data into the database. Otherwise, display this message. We said fields cannot be empty. Now we created the message as a global variable. Now we can go to our complete profile. We echo this variable that holds the error message. So we come down here. We can place it here if we want. We can say php echo then msg. So we close the tag. So we've added the message, we've echoed it out here. So if there's an error, the message will be displayed. So let's go to our browser, refresh and see what happens. So if we try to click on submit, here it gives us the message that fields cannot be empty, but it says undefined variable gender, intro, and this. Let's go to our user profile to see what we have. So let's go to our user profile. Oh, if we check here, we see instead of us to use equal sign, we are using the dash. So let's just change it to equal and see if the errors will disappear. Here we save and let's see what happens. Let's go back and refresh. Okay, we still have one error on line 29. If we go to line 29, here it says, okay, on line 29, if we check, okay, here's the error. We're supposed to use the capital letter, we use a small letter. So we do that, we save. So we'll go back to our browser, refresh, and see the error has disappeared and we are getting this message. If we like, we can just place this at the center. Now if we just take this out and we try to upload an image, let's just try to see if we can upload an image. In the documents folder, just look for let's just take one of these to see. Then we have first name, last name, select mail. Let's click on submit. Now takes us back to this page. Let's go to our browser to see if it has updated. So we click on the profile, and here we can see that the data has been added to the user's profile. That is the profile page we have in the database. What we added here have already been updated inside the profile or the profile table. What we can do is, instead of just having it to, after submitting, to reload and go back to this page, we can just come down here. Inside here we allow the user to go to the profile page. So once the data is successfully inserted, we just use a header and we'll say location. It's going to be users/profile.php. So with this, if the user successfully updates or adds the data and submits, it will take the user straight to the profile page. But right now in the profile page, we don't have anything in the profile page, so nothing will be displayed. So in the next video, we'll work on the user profile page.